Hey everyone. All right, I'm live. Apparently Google Hangouts on Air is going away later this year for quick streaming try. So I guess I'll have to try a whole new scenario. Okay, I'm just going to share it here to the rest of my social media pages here, folks. Just give me a second. All right, we're done. Facebook, Twitter. Minds, and Gab. I guess in a way, I'm kind of glad I didn't join up with the, what was that one? Telegram. Apparently that got hacked pretty hardcore. So I guess it worked out okay that I didn't join up on that one. I am on obviously Minds, Gab, Twitter, Facebook, and BitChute. Well, BitChute, Minds, and Gab are the alternative. Whoa, look at my stream. It looks pretty shitty right about now. Hey, what's going on, Gato? Nice to see you in the chat, Gato. Yeah, happy Father's Day to you as well. Not sure if you have any kids as of yet, Gato, but yeah, happy Father's Day to you. Thanks a lot. Actually, I got a great message from my son this morning. One of my sons. Really happy to see that. Okay, just let me close this stuff out here. Yeah, that's weird though. I'm looking at my stream and it's looking really, really crappy. Anyone else see that? Or is it just my connection? Let's see what's going on here. Auto 144p on Father's Day. Seriously, YouTube, you're going to make it like what? 144p? Oh, here we go. There, it looks better now. Just real quick in there, Gato, or Pass the Buck. Hey, thanks for joining me, Pass the Buck, or Roll Deck. Oh, it looks good on your end? Yeah, for some reason, it was showing up as 144p on my end. That's some pretty crappy quality, right? Anyways, I guess it all, as long as it looks good on your guys' end, that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Because I see myself just fine in the original part of the stream. But yeah, obviously today I do want to mention, I'm just waiting for a few people to join in the chat. But yeah, I definitely want to mention, I'll say it a couple times anyways, but yeah, happy Father's Day to all those amazing fathers out there who not just step up the plate, but make sure that you're raising sons and daughters that are going to be great, not just contributors to society, but defenders of liberty as well. Because that's the most important thing we can do as parents, right? You know, we want to do what's best for our children and what's best for ourselves as well. It's got to be reciprocal. But at the end of the day, is creating a culture. And that's what families, that's what people do, is you create a culture. But we definitely want to create a culture of Canadians who respect each other's individual rights, freedoms, and liberties, and their sovereignty. Right? We don't have to all agree with everyone on anything. We only have to agree with our terms of engagement, which is, don't use force, violence, theft, or coercion, as your ultimate means to end, aka big government. And if you're not doing that, then like I say, most of the time we get along just fine in our interpersonal relationships, or even on a grander social economic scale. Just a matter of, treating each other with dignity and respect, and having that reciprocal effect as far as respecting each other's sovereignty. 360 on your settings. Yeah, that's weird, huh? Hey, what's going on, Leo? Happy Father's Day. I'm not sure, actually, I don't know if we ever get into this. I'm not sure if you're a father as of yet, Leo, but if you are, happy Father's Day to you. 720p for Pass the Buck. Okay, well, looks good so far. Hey, Cat in Canada, what's going on? Cat in Canada, another great contributor to my Facebook or my YouTube channel all the time. Just amazing comments. Thank you, Kat, actually, for always putting out such great comments, because that's the kind of stuff that I really, really respect. It's not just the fact of the people that pay attention to my videos or my streams, but the ones that actually engage and interact in the comment section and put out. And I even seen there was a person earlier today, and this person, I'm not sure how many times, but a few times in the past, articulate some great messaging. But apparently they have hearing or visual impairments. So the comments come out, I suppose they probably use speech recognition software to say what they have to say. But thank you very much for doing that. And anyone out there that contributes to my channel as far as helping to educate and inform others, like, I really have a tremendous amount of respect for each and every one of you. Thank you for doing that. And today it's all about the chat, folks. It's all about the chat, because I know I have heard some people say that they're disappointed in the fact that I don't quite engage as often as I should with people in the chat. But that is my own, that's a personal issue for me. I get hyper focused, especially when I'm having interactions with other guests or people that are on the stream. So today it's just me. So I'll be able to actively engage with all of you in the chat. And thanks for showing up today. Appreciate it. Yeah, Kat, right on. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers here. Yes, awesome. There's nothing in the world more underrated than a good father, especially in a world where so many men are absent. Oh, get me right here. Was it Roll Dak? Yeah, you get me right here. I agree. And I mean, this isn't really, this is Father's Day. I mean, I have a tremendous amount of respect for all the ladies and the mothers out there too. But yes, no one's leaving them in the back of the bus, but men are definitely in a pretty precarious situation as far as those who represent your thought leaders, opinion makers, or those who are representative of the ruling class. Men are definitely being placed and thrust at the back of the bus today, which is a terrible, terrible thing to do to men. Terrible thing. Thanks, Marco Talico. 720 here looks fine. Awesome. So it was probably, yeah, like I say, it was probably just pass the buck, not Cat. Yeah, right on, Cat. Awesome. But yeah, it was probably just my original connection when I started on. Oh, no problem, Cat and Canada. Thanks, Bennett. Happy Father's Day to you. Thank you very much. Actually, like I say, my youngest son. Actually, let me just read it, I guess, here. Still earlier on, but and not as many people in the stream is probably. But I'm going to just show it because my son, he's just, well, both of my sons are amazing. I love both of them tremendously. And to see these kind of things sent to me is just, yeah, it tells me, tells me that I'm obviously doing something right. Whoops. There we go. So yeah, my son, by the way, if you're one of those people that's into gaming, my son has actually multiple channels, but the main channel he has is Aaron Say What. And it is an actual verified channel on YouTube. And he shared with me earlier today. So like I say, if you're into gaming, go check out his channel, Aaron Say What. And he'll have posts with all the other channels that he like I said, my son, both of my sons are amazing. And they do so much to contribute to creating and generating some good culture in this country. And Aaron in particular, the one I'm going to be referencing now, does, like I say, movie or music and gaming videos, but he also talks about a lot of things as far as doing skits. Just really good as far as articulating his message, but particularly towards the younger people, which he does a lot better job than I can. I'm getting a little long in the tooth, right? So I don't have quite that kind of same appeal to the younger people as someone like my son would have. Anyways, here's the tweet he sent. It was, Happy Father's Day. Actually, I don't know if I want to do this. I might start tearing up or some shit. No, just kidding. But no, it does matter a lot, and I appreciate this stuff. But Happy Father's Day. From as young as I could remember, my dad has always been my role model. I know it's a cliche, but my dad is truly the toughest guy I know. And growing up, I never worried about tough times because I knew no matter what, he would always get through them, which I do. You have to. I won't let things beat me down. And there's been a lot of things in my life that have tried to beat me down, but nah, I refuse to accept that. Part 2 of his tweet was, and because he is such an amazing dad, I now never truly worry about the tough times I go through because he taught me how to get through them, or to get through anything and come out stronger than ever. Love you, Dad, at Canadian Libertarian. Growing up, I saw you as Superman, and honestly still do. Hey, who, right? I mean, that means more to me than, like, you can lay what, I don't know, 10 pounds of gold before my feet and say, would you rather that or the 10 pounds of gold? I'll take that any day of the week and every day of the month or every day of the year, because that stuff means, this is the kind of stuff that means a lot. Well, gold, I mean, I guess we all need to have purchasing power in life, but there's also something that's even more important than that, and that's love, respect, and dignity. I guess that's more than one thing. Anyways, let me get back here because but I just wanted to point that out. Thanks, Aaron. I already responded to him earlier, but that was great. So let's see what's going on here in the chat. Wow, you have a challenge for sure. Pass the buck in a simple mom. I'm a single mom. My youngest graduated last year. Great boy. Guys like you deserve this very much. Happy Father's Day, my friend. Awesome. That's awesome, Kat. May you enjoy your day. Oh, single dad. Here we go. Pass the buck, Canuck. Single dad of a 13-year-old daughter. I look at single moms way different now. Yeah, that's awesome. Pass the buck. Hey, all you fathers out there, like I say, man or woman, or I mean, sorry, son or daughter. It's very, very important that you lead by example and teach your children to carry on that torch of liberty and respect for other people's sovereignty. That is very important. Hey, what's going on, medic? Was it 855.3? I believe it says. Happy Father's Day, sir. Wife and I are big fans of the show. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Pass the buck, Canuck. Thanks, Cat. Chip off the old block. I'm not sure which one you reference to, but yeah, my son's good stuff. Well, both of my sons, awesome. My oldest son, I believe he's probably working today, hard at work. It's a shame, but hey, got to pay the bills, right? You're not long in the tooth, you silly guy. You're handsome and smart, and I'm sure a handful of your poor wife. Yeah. Hey, actually, me and my wife were like I say, we look at each other, perceive each other on the same level per se. And we push back against each other all the time. Actually, that's what I love about having a strong, independent wife such as my own is she can do her thing, I do our thing, and that's where we meet each other in the middle, right? There is no imposition in our relationship. It's just it's mutual respect, and that is very, very important. Actually, I can't stress how important it is to have mutual respect. And I mean, for me as a guy, there's things that women bring to the table that's like, holy shit, I yield to you as far as what you bring to the table in so many regards. But she does that for me as well. So it's a great way to have an amazing relationship with someone from the opposite sex, is to recognize and acknowledge that, yeah, we're not the same. Matter of fact, I wouldn't want us to be the same. Our children, my son would tell you the same thing. He wouldn't want mom and dad to be the same because he learned a lot from both of us, but from two different perspectives. That actually is what, rounded out his experience and made it a more well-rounded person, was by the sheer fact that he didn't just have to come at things from one side or from one sex or one perspective. He had this kind of information inundated to him from both of us, from totally different perspectives and from totally different backgrounds. And that's what made him a more well-rounded person, as far as I'm concerned. Same here. I don't stay down. Right on, Neil Legacy. Right on. Nothing replaces respect from your children. That's so true. Priceless and hard-earned. And is it ever? You have to earn that stuff. Actually, that's the part that's so important, is you have to earn that respect. You're not given to it just freely. That sense of earning something is what makes it matter most. Strong women compliment good men. Damn straight. Right on, Kat. 100%. We just seem to have lost that knowledge. So sad, right? To try to even suggest that men and women should try to compete against each other in that one field of what? I don't even understand. That's just so weird. Like I say, that's why I love the fact that men and women are different in so many areas and regards. Is like, I don't want to compete with ladies on their playing field, because I know that's where their strengths are. Right? It's about complimenting each other. That's really what it comes down to the end of the day for me. It's compliment. Hey, Rika, nice to see you in the chat. At least I know now that in particular, Rika, thank you for agreeing to be a moderator too. So, if anyone steps up there and puts some ridiculous stuff in there, hopefully you'll get to notice that. And I'll be paying attention to because like today, like I say, not going to bring anyone to the chat today. It's all about engaging with those of you who are actually in the chat. So I guess not in the chat, but the people that, like I say, there's not going to be anyone that we're going to bring and share links to. I just want to engage with everyone in the chat, because I have had some people say that I got to get better at that. And you know what? I admit when I'm wrong. I don't ever deny Like when I'm doing something and I'm failing and someone points it out, I run that through the old craniums like, yeah, they're probably right. And of course, my wife told me the same thing, and she's probably right too. So yeah, I'm going to do a much better, or at least try to do a much better job engaging with everyone in the chat, because you all really do matter a lot to me. Just like I say, I'm one of those people that get hyper focused, right? So it's just sometimes you just kind of got to smack me upside the head a little bit, not literally, but to get me to think outside of where I'm at in the moment. A little bit weird in that way, I guess, but I'm trying. I try to do my best. Yeah, really, we're not in competition. We are supporting to help each other, be good to each other. So true, Kat. Morning, Rika. Oh, there was a couple other things actually I wanted to cover here too, real quick. Oh, another thing, actually, since a few of the people are already in the chat. This is for Rainy Steps. I was hoping I would see Rainy in the chat, but he's not here as of yet. But I'll just say it again. If I see him again, I'll point it against. This is thanks to you, Rainy. I had to throw a couple extra bucks myself on it. But yeah, thank you. I remember. I really do. I remember when you donated in a super chat and you said this is to go towards a new tie. Well, hey, I got myself a new tie, and thank you for contributing for that, because I really do appreciate it. So thanks again. Oh, and another thing I wanted to mention too, in addition to that, was well, first, yeah, I already said it once, but I'm going to say it again real quick to all the fathers out there. Have a great and special happy Father's Day today. Very important that you folks do step up the plate for your sons and daughters, to lead by example and be good role models for sure. And thanks to all those you do. And because of that, and because Father's Day is, well, that's what today represent, is I wanted to give a special shout out and mention to Frank Vaughn, a new father. I believe it's his first time as a father. Had a baby boy not too long ago. And I'm sure Frank will be back into, he's starting to come back around now. But hey, like I said to Frank, even in the chat in our little conversation, or in my comment on his video, is yeah, family first, Frank. We got your back, buddy. Don't worry. We'll fill the void there while you're gone, because you know what? It is very important that you're taking that time of your life, and it gives me a lot of respect for you, Frank, for the fact that you put all this stuff aside, right? All this social media stuff, you put it aside to make sure there you were there for your wife and for your newly born son, and that's really, that shows me that you are someone that actually not just talks the talk, but walks the walk as well. So congratulations, Frank Vaughn, once again, for being a new daddy. And I'm sure that's going to put you in a place that's going to make you fight even harder for liberty. Because I know when I became a dad, it became even more important to me to stand up for rights, freedoms, and liberty, because I realized it wasn't just about me; it's about my children as well. And you know what? Those kids are going to have kids someday too. So it's a carrying forward kind of thing, right? Do you expect Bitcoin donations or accept? Oh, of course I accept. I'm not sure how you would do it, I guess. But of course I would accept Bitcoin donations. I do have a PayPal account, but I don't know if you can do that. Maybe you'll have to let me know how I would go about setting something up. That's one area I haven't really get into, blockchain. I talk about it, I promote it. I just haven't personally used it. So not that I'm against it by any stretch of the imagination. I actually think these digital cryptocurrencies based on blockchain technology are a great alternative, not just as a means or a measure for economic transactions, but not just a storage of value, but also as a means to prevent some central planning authorities or third party intermediaries to have some pretense that they should have an effect on our peer-to-peer donations or our social or actually more economical engagements. And obviously in blockchain technology or cryptocurrencies, we don't have to worry about third-party arbiters because it comes with that underlying ledger. So yeah, I'm a big fan of cryptocurrencies. Like I say, I don't know if I have anything set up per se right now. I do have a Patreon account that is still active, so I'm not sure if you can donate cryptocurrencies there. I do have a PayPal account. I made sure to set that up. But as far as the blockchain stuff, the only thing that I know of per se is on Mines, Ethereum, and all that stuff. But I'm not as well versed in that stuff as a lot of other people are. And that's actually somewhere where I gotta set aside some time and start learning about these things and be more proactive, because I think it's something that's probably going to be more beneficial, not just me, but for everyone in the future. So yeah, I'm not sure. Like I say, if you can figure it, if you're wiser than I am and how to do that, then I would definitely appreciate it. I really would. Oh, a Bitcoin wallet. Actually, Cat in Canada. Yeah, actually, I do have a Bitcoin wallet. So okay, maybe that's a good thing to remind me here. Actually, shoot, I don't have a pen here, but I do have a notepad opened up. So share. I'm going to write this or type this out so I remember this. Share my Bitcoin, because I set this up a long time ago. Bitcoin wallet on my YouTube channel. Okay. Because, yeah, I did set one up quite a while ago. It's been quite a while. But like I say, for most time, I wasn't even trying. I was thinking that I could just keep doing construction and not ever have to ask anyone for a dime. But yeah, my economic situation is not doing as good as I was hoping. So yes, I'm probably going to need and rely on other people's help here soon. So thanks for everyone that's offering donations. And I will always offer something to, like, if you're going to help me in any way, I will give you whatever, like I'll do whatever I can to make sure that whatever you're paying for, I'm producing something that's worthwhile of your hard work. Because that's the other thing. I always keep in mind that anyone, even if someone donates, that they had to work for that, right? So I really appreciate anyone that's willing to donate something that's a proceed from their hard work and labor, because I know what it's like to do that. And I appreciate the people that are willing to help out in that regard. Okay, I got to keep going down further here because, yeah, I always try to keep in mind. Got to stay on top of the chat, Bennett. Got to stay on top of the chat. Happy Father's Day, Kent Ganda. Stan Ulrich, thank you. Or Ulch, teach your kids to put on the full armor of God, the result of protection and no fear. Nice, right on. I'd say happy Father's Day to my dad, but he swears he never slept with that crazy lady. Right on, pass the buck, Canada. But yeah, you go ahead and do that anyways, right? Canada, nice. Ken Durant, the jerks will purposely corrupt one of their own to gain control over all of them eventually. That's so true, Ken. Oh, I just noticed right now I got a super chat from Roll Dak, $10. Thanks for all you do. Happy Father's Day. Thank you very much for your donation. I really do appreciate that. That's for sure. But we like their money. What's that, Cat? Oh, how's the weather in Red Plate, Alberta land, Canuck? Half your province came here to be a-hole. But we like their money. Right on. It's a lot better than it was. The smoke was killer with the rains. GM Ken. Oh yeah, that was another thing I just wanted to share here too. Was not sure if anyone of you are familiar. I just want to mention this too. Is I haven't. Well, apparently now you still have to put your email address, because it's in beta mode right now. But I'm sure many of you out there have already heard that Jordan Peterson announces free speech platform, and it's called ThinkSpot. This article I'm sharing right now. Actually, let me share it in the stream. I don't think I see anything wrong with me sharing links to stuff in the stream, right? That shouldn't be. So let me just share it here. Geez, I wonder though, will I get in trouble for doing that? I can't imagine. Oh, strawberries. 2 strawberries off my plant. Nice. Get strawberries already. Well, yeah, I guess we are. Well, I guess, yeah, we are kind of in the middle or so of June. So yeah, that's true. Anyways, let me just share a link to it, maybe. Well, no, this should be fine. I'm just going to share a link here. No. I'm going to click right straight on it. Instead of going to the article here, I'm going to go straight to the site. And then you can click on it. And apparently all you have to do is just, you can join the beta waitlist today by adding your email. And like I say, this is supposed to be a truly free speech platform. And Jordan Peterson is the one that's, I'm not sure he himself created it, but he's the one that is started this initiative. So, hey, it could be something that's a good alternative or option for us. So I guess the only way we'll know is to check it out. So I'm just going to share it here right now in the chat. I did submit my email, and I guess I'm on the waiting list there now. Hey, Faye Knox, what's going on? Just put the link in the chat. Everyone does it. Yeah, okay, cool. Thanks, Faye. So I just did that. So like I say, it's called ThinkSpot. Like I say, you can't actually go to the website as of yet. You can only join the waiting list. Hopefully it's a little bit better and more accepted and adopted by a lot more people than the intellectual dark web. I myself even joined there, but I on the intellectual dark web, I admit I don't even contribute there as much as I should, really. Well, that's, I think, what it comes back to in the day. All these new sites, I mean, they sound great, but once again, the main battle for the ideas are taking place on these dominant platforms, right? These are the people who we really need to reach. People are on the IDW. Chances are, someone like myself, do I really need to reach those kind of people? Probably not, right? Which is why, as much as I'm very respectful and appreciative of having these alternative platforms, and we definitely need them in case the main platforms go totally rogue and completely start silencing and suppressing some of our voices, and they are starting to do that already. So, like I say, it's just plain wise to be on alternative platforms because you just never know what's going to happen. But at the same time, I understand how important it is to stay on these dominant platforms. Because if we all leave these dominant platforms and go elsewhere, guess what? The leftists, the authoritarians, the collectivists, they're all over there with nobody pushing back or challenging them, right? That's like giving them a freebie. It's like giving them the win without even challenging them. And I don't want to go that way. If you feed them nuts and moonshine, they forget about eating your berries. Right on. Oh, point fire. My 11-year-old son was threatened with being charged with a hate crime. What? Your 11-year-old son? Toronto District School Board focused on the topic and not what was written. I am extremely proud of my son. He never flinched. Yeah, that's crazy. First of all, who are these teachers that would try to even suggest that 11-year-old should be charged with a hate crime? 11-year-old? Oh, damn. Yeah, that's a terrible thing to hear. And I'm sorry to hear about that, point fire. I'm not sure what was said, but to be deemed a hate crime, come on, that seems a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, I agree, Kat. What, an 11-year-old boy? That's ridiculous. That is totally ridiculous. If you can afford it, put them in private school. I agree. Or that's a beautiful thing today, although you do need accreditation, but because we have access to information, we literally live in the age of information, folks. You can get some of the best education known to man. And if you're one of those parents that are really good at figuring out how to put that all together, all that you need is out there on the internet. Now, it'd be proper for you to create some kind of curriculum and make sure they're properly being educated, informed, in at least some kind of streamlined manner that is conducive with like age appropriateness and all that stuff. So it is important. But yes, we live in the age of information. So the fact that you have all this information available means that you don't have to just rely on public sector education to get your children up to date and up to speed in terms of not just mathematics or academics or language or arts, but philosophy and politics and history and geography, all those things as well. Like I said, it's all readily available, folks. It's all literally at our fingertips and at a fraction of the cost of what it would be a representative of going through the public education system in this country. So please take advantage of that fact. Or homeschool. Well, yes, some parents that actually have some really good competence skills as far as being able to educate and inform, those are people that should be homeschoolers, and not just for your own children, right? Make it a business venture, a model, and help and make it cheap for them, right? To help educate not just your own children, but help educate other people as well. Hey, AJ, what's going on, buddy? Because if you do have knowledge in your head, help educate and inform other people, not just your own children. And like I say, if you can make that even to a business model that will help the young people today, it will pay dividends long off into the future. AJ, happy Father's Day, everyone. Keep up the good work, Bennett. Right on, AJ. You know what? I'm sure, as far as I know, you don't have any children as yet, but the day will come where you probably will want to have some. And, I think you'd be a great dad, AJ. And maybe it's about time you start thinking about that. Might sound like your dad yet. Maybe it's about time, AJ, you start thinking about sitting down, settling down with a lady and having some children, right? Sorry, AJ, I know I'm being a little preachy there, but hey, I am a dad after all, right? And I would say the same to you as I would say to my son. Having a good, healthy relationship with someone from, hey, actually, I don't even want to get on the sexual thing, but usually I do come from traditional men and women thing, right? That's kind of that's my area, right? That's all I know. I'm not saying I'm against anyone else doing things that's different from me, but yeah, nothing like a man and woman coming together and procreating and bringing all that entails in the relationship, to bringing like the beautiful aspects of femininity and the beautiful aspects of masculinity, and making that work, and teaching your children, whether they're boys or girls, how amazing it is to have that masculine perspective and that female, the feminine perspective, and bringing them together and make it almost seamless, and making sure that you have kids, like I say, whether they're boys and girls, who understand how important it is to respect both sexes. Homeschooling worked well. At least it did in Alberta for my youngest son. Had to get him out of the public school, no doubt. This is Wood Rat 2296. Yeah, no kidding. Like I say, if you're someone that has the ability to teach your children in a particular manner, and then when people say, "Oh, but how will they be socialized?" Like, well, what kind of socializing? Even when I went to school, there wasn't much socializing other than on recess or lunch. You weren't allowed to talk in school, right? So what are you talking about socializing? You can get your kids to be socialized outside the public education system. You don't need education, a formal education, to be socialized properly. You just got to teach your kids to, interact and engage with other people socially. What a novel concept, right? I was having small children now. I would homeschool. Yeah, I think that would be wise, Kat. And you're someone that seems like you'd be able to do that actually in a pretty decent manner. So I think that would be wise. I really do. Thanks, Kat. I'm not a father, but thank you. AJ, right on. One day, by powerful, they have pull and sway in the government. You tell them, see how. Right on. I will once I get him this. Right on, AJ. Catholic school system, because of the bullying, and the school took the side of the bullies. The young man is now in college and serves in the reserves and does not get bullied anymore. Right on. Woodrat, hello, fellow Albertan. Right on. Schools are bullies the way the government uses criminals. Well, schools, they teach you too much of top-down authoritarianism in school, right? And not really the critical thinking skills. It's all about just you do what the hell we say, right? And that's the part that I never liked about school. Now, I will admit that I'm out of touch with the school system today because I haven't been in it. But even when I was growing up, there's a reason why I dropped out of school in grade 9 and went to work. It just seemed so destructive to what I thought was important as far as what education should entail. I thought it seemed way too regimented and way too restrictive, and not allowing me to even think critically or question some of the stuff that was imposed on me by my teachers or educators. And when people are unwilling to allow you to challenge them, to me, that's not education, that's indoctrination. If I can't challenge what you're saying and I just have to go along with what you're saying, that's not education, that's indoctrination. Schools support the narrative. My son got kicked in the nads, youch, by a girl when he punched her to stop from doing it again. He got, so she kicked him in the nads, and then he punched her to stop her from doing it. Well, that's the thing. Listen, I don't agree with anyone using violence towards each other, man or woman. I'll admit that it's been something that has happened in the past for me as well. I have used violence in the past, right? It's when you're threatened, that's something that some people do, but I don't think it's a good way to resolve problems. But yeah, if someone started it and someone reciprocated subsequent to that, now there is an escalation effect, and there is this point of fairness and not being bullying if you're twice, 3 times the size of the person. But yes, women or men, no one should have any pretense. If you're using violence, don't think that everyone else should restrain or contain themselves. If you're the one that want to use violence, then you should expect that other people are going to use violence towards you as a retaliatory measure. That's kind of an important incentive to prevent people from using preemptive violence as an ultimate means to an end. That's a good argument against big government, right? Big government, which is a monopoly of force or violence, that's what it is stop using violence towards people, and then you might not have as much violence reciprocated back, right? That's the thing. It's a constant escalation when you're talking about politics, because everyone wants to use that metaphorical gun in the room to impose their will on the other people, and then the other people are like, you want to pull that shit off on me? Okay, I'm going to pick up that metaphorical gun in the room. After this election, I'm going to point at you and I'm going to impose my shit on you. And that's just, like I say, that's that race to the lowest common denominator, where now all we do is seek to use that means, that violent imposition of force, as the means to an end. And you don't create a genuine healthy society under that kind of scenario. You end up with people that are hate-filled and resentful, and playing this political game where it's all about zero sum and posing one side's will against the other, which that's the real world that we're living today. And that's why our culture is being greatly destroyed. And people don't seem to have this capacity or willingness to show solidarity with each other, because there is no longer a semblance of things that we have to stand behind as far as unity, right? There is no unity anymore, because we're all pitted into groups. So now it's all about divisiveness. Whereas, respecting individual rights, freedoms, and the sovereignty of the individual, that's something that creates unity, because that's something we should all be able to get behind. But once you place people into political identity groups, well, now you've created a scenario where it's adversarial in nature. And that's the recognition. That's the reality that we're experiencing today, is now we all feel like we're adversaries to each other, rather than people that are aligning behind a single goal or a single initiative, which is to respect each other's rights, freedoms, and liberty. If we could get to that point once again, and I think we will, then we can put aside our petty differences and live the way you see fit, without imposing what you see fit on everyone else. Like I say, all we need is a minimal amount of finite rules that just respects each other's sovereignty. Actually, now that AJ, I did notice that AJ is in the chat. I'm not sure if he's still there now. Hey, hold on. Let me just see what Gato's got to say here. Oh, and thanks to you, Gato, too, for being a moderator on the channel. I really appreciate it. Girls have gotten very aggressive. Well, that is true. And the reason why that is taking place is because now girls, like I say, with the power of politics, the power of that representation of a monopoly of force of violence, man or female, if you're a representative of the state, which is a monopoly of force of violence, man or female, 98-pound weakling or 250-pound bodybuilder or an MMA fighter, you're now on the even keel, because now you're representation of that monopoly of force of violence. So that's the kind of equality that, it's good that we can hold each other to account, but because government has that imposition of power, like I say, the weak, the meek, or people from even, backgrounds that shouldn't have any historical power now have this outsized capacity and ability to use that kind of power towards other people. It's causing a breakdown to society tremendously, as far as I'm concerned. My province is way too liberal. I don't even think you can homeschool. They consider that as child abuse or some shit. Yeah, that's terrible. Listen, I would never, that's the thing, and challenge them, because I would do it regardless. If someone told me, I can't educate, and they're my children, if someone told me I couldn't do so, I'd do it regardless and see how that played out, and make that a public spectacle if they ever did try to impose their will on me and prevent me from teaching or educating my children the way I wanted to see fit. Oh, and thanks, Ken, for next time. And actually, I really will, because that's one area where it's kind of my new thing. I'm not into raising as much anymore, because my whole license, and I'm not even anywhere near all my backgrounds. So yeah, now I'm getting into like ties and stuff now, right? Wow, what a difference between a 350 small block with nitrous or a 450R TRX Honda four-wheeler racing quad. Now ties are my new thing. I guess that's another sign that I'm getting older. But hey, it's cool. I love the variety. Actually, ties are one of those things, like, damn, there's a lot of ties out there. So it's pretty cool, right? There's so many different, and I mean, the coloring and the matching them. Damn, I'm starting to sound almost a little fashion oriented there. That's my wife helping me out in that regard. But thanks, Kat, for that donation. I will definitely use it. And actually, that $5, I can actually go to the thrift stop or thrift store, I believe it's called. And there's a couple other ones that you can actually get a tie for $4.99 used. I usually buy my ties used because I like the good ones. But if you bought the good ones new, wow, are they ever expensive? Dang. So I usually wait and buy a used one and just get them all cleaned up or take it to the dry cleaners and make sure they're good as new. And hey, right on. So appreciate it, Kat. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it too, especially the color combinations. There's so many different color combinations you can get into. CL Van Horn. Hey, what's going on, CL Van Horn? Happy Father's Day, brother. Happy Father's Day, Jay Catcher. Really appreciate it. Happy Father's Day to you as well. The schools are terrified of children who have energy and are able to research themselves. So friggin' true. Even when I was a kid, yeah, I had way too much energy and I questioned teachers way too much, right? I did that actually not just in regular school, but because I come from a religious background, I used to do that in Sunday school, right? Question all the orthodoxy of my religious teachers or preachers. And they used to get peed off of the fact that I just questioned too many things. It was kind of the same thing. Teachers or preachers, a lot of them, not all, mind you, like I'll say that, let's leave that caveat that not all are that way, but these people don't usually want you to question what they're trying to jam into your head, right? But to me, that's actually where you should know that you're in the wrong place. If someone's saying that you should never question what they're saying, these are people that are being more authoritarian than me and trying to indoctrinate you rather than educate and inform you. And that's like a good rule of thumb is if someone's saying, don't question what I'm telling you, that's a good rule of thumb is you really should. Hey, howdy. Happy day. Happy Dad's Day. I do want to say that if your kids go to public school, talk to them about what they're thought challenging cultural Marxism. This is how you make your kids immune to that bullshit. So true, Gato. So true. They want maximum pay for minimal work. That sounds very much collectivist. Maximum pay for minimal work. They're making themselves obsolete, especially with online education. Good advice, Gato. Yeah, I agree, Kat. Teachers love the unquestioned loyalty to them and the status of that position, right? Could you imagine even to be a teacher? I couldn't live under that scenario. People even said, even many years ago, oh, you'd be a good teacher, Bennett. Not really. Not in this current system, because I'd be one of those teachers that would be constantly be in trouble by the administrators, right? Because I would want my children to think critically and challenge even what I have to say. I actually love being challenged. Okay, what else was I going to offer here? There was a couple things I wanted to read. Yeah, I already mentioned Randy Steps, the donation for the tie too. Appreciate that. And Frank, I mentioned that. I have a sister who takes the attitude home. It's a pain. That's not good. That's not good. Oh, I forgot to turn my little side light on here. Actually helps. In case you folks didn't notice, I got a side light there now because the lighting in this freaking room, it all comes from one side, basically where the window is, and the other side it gets very darkly shaded and it messes with, I guess, when I'm moving my arms around and the camera and how it focuses. I should have thought to remember to do that, but like I say, I had mine in a different mind spot earlier. My kids watch me lose my mind and practically have a nervous breakdown while reading The Underground History of American Education by John Taylor Gatto. They're very keen on what school is now. Yeah, no kidding. Actually, I did a few videos in the past. It's some of my older stuff, and I look back at them now today. It's like, damn, I'm going to have to redo some of those because I was such a noob. I was trying, though. I was trying my best, right? But yeah, even Canada's education system, if you understand the history of our education system and how it's built upon the Prussian model, it is very much authoritarianism and not quite as conducive as people would think about getting children to think critically about things. It's really about jamming information in their head, more about making them think about things. That's the biggest failure as far as I'm concerned, as far as our education system is preventing people from thinking critically and giving them a full understanding or grasp of some morals or ethics that are universal in nature. That's the thing. This subjectiveness where everyone just create and conjure up what they deem as moral or ethical. Like there's some things that no, like theft, that should be universally accepted as immoral, right? Killing, these are things that have been figured out hundreds of years ago. The fact that we're trying to go backwards and try to reinvent the fact that these things should be deemed as immoral, well, it sends a very, very mixed message to people and gives them the ability to think that morality is subjective in some way. I mean, some areas maybe, but there are other areas where no, it's not subjective. It's completely objective in nature. Authoritarianism. My sister's a closet bong user, though she can't be all super high in my. I got nothing against people that smoke or consume the weed. I've done it a few times in my life, even now. Sometimes it's good just to relax and chill out. It's not the end of the world. I think the biggest thing is when you use anything as a crutch to prevent you from just being you, right? If you just allow something to overtake you and consume you, I think that's usually where it gets to be a problem. But the fact that people try to self-medicate in some way to deal with the kind of the craziness in the world that surrounds them, I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. You just got to be wise about it, folks. What were you doing in the closet, Kinder? 420, mad. Oh, there was a couple other actually articles that I had set up here that I wanted to cover a little bit too. Oh yeah, this one out of British Columbia from CBC News. Home prices in Vancouver are quadruple what average millennials can afford. I mean, this is a terrible thing for the young people in this country. I mean, that's the thing they talk about. We need mass immigration because the demographic shift, because the boomers are such a large cohort and every successive generation is so small in comparison that we need all this mass influx of immigration to replace or to prop up the demographic differences, right? But really, in reality, no, it's just look, millennials would, I'm sure quite a lot of them, my own children even, would love to be able to set up their own, household, start a family, and do what those of us like from my generation or the older generations did, right? But the fact that they're placed in this precarious situations economically, where like it's quadruple what a millennial can afford. So they're never going to be able to get into a house, or even if a house is 4 times that, well, I would imagine the rent's already too high that they probably don't even feel that they have the capacity to even rent as far as raising some children, maybe even only 1 or 2 of them. But once again, we create these scenarios. Well, not we, I haven't, I'm sure you haven't, but these central planners are people that are your thought leaders or rulers in this country. They create these scenarios that stacked against the deck against the younger generations. And then they wonder why, what's going on with these people? They're just lazy or inept, or they just don't want to create families. No. If you give them the proper incentives or the proper social economic structures, you'll see that it'll turn out just like past generations. These new generations aren't that much different than all the past historical generations. The difference is the current social economic situation that they find themselves in. So rather than finger wagging and keep pointing to the younger generations and how terrible they are, hey, try giving them a hand up or leading by example and give them the ability to have the capacity to do what you did. Right? That's the thing. We got to help our children out. If we want these people to be able to be placed in a situation where they can start families and be able to take care of their aging or elderly parents or grandparents, well, you got to put them in a good economic or social economic position where they can do so. And if you're not willing to do that, well, then how do you think they're going to help you on the other side? That's the thing with the boomers or the older generations. If you're looking for people to take care of you in your younger age, well, you got to do that for them now so that they're in a good position when they get to that point. And they're going to feel like they want to reciprocate that back to you. But if you're not willing to help them now, well, you might better understand and expect that they're probably not going to be willing to help you after. Like I say, it's all reciprocal. You have to do the right thing now and hope and expect that someone will do the right thing after. But you have to do the right thing now. You have to be the one to lead by example, especially if you're the parent, right? You're supposed to be the parent. You're supposed to be older. You're supposed to be wiser. Then lead by example and show that you know and you're doing the right thing. And then, like, there's no guarantee that your kids are going to do the right thing too, but it's going to give you the best chance that they will if you're doing the right thing yourself. But if you're not even doing the right thing, good luck trying to get your kids to do the right thing or adopt better practices when you're not even leading by example. Purple Kush, Durban position. The school policies are creating helicopters. Yeah, no kidding. Too many helicopter parents. I encourage my kids to just be homeless travelers. Right. I was born and raised there. Pass the buck. Good. Many of the young generations were fed a lot of fear narrative. They sure were. They were given a horrible image of the future so they wouldn't have children. I tried to challenge the narrative many times, but hey, I hear you, Gato. I hear you, buddy. And you're so right. So right. Stop. I wish people would stop using these fear narratives because, like I say, things today, to place your kids in a situation where they should fear things today. Now, there are some things that are detrimental for sure, but there's a lot of positive attributes and aspects to modern social or modern culture or societies that they can gravitate to and use to their example or to their benefit or to their advantage. But yeah, that's the thing. The kids are taught some very terrible and negative things today. Yeah, it is. It is so true. That's the thing with young people. What will change these young people's minds, God, though, is just plain age, right? That'll shake them out of the slumber. Age and a recognition and a realization that they're going to have to step outside their comfort zone at some point in time. And once they have, that's what's going to build up the resolve and thicken their skin and make them more resilient and pushing back against this kind of sensitivity nonsense that they've been constantly have jammed in their head. Many from Cali moved to BC, including Kurt and Goldie. Oh, Kurt Russell and Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. They were a great couple. I remember back in the day. What was it? Bird on the Wire, I believe, right? Was it Bird on the Wire? I believe that was what it was called. It was a movie back in the day. I think they were both in it together. I think that might have been when they were first starting to get together. But they seemed like a pretty damn good one of those Hollywood couples that seemed to work out, seemed to have a long, and I don't know, they're probably still together today. But there are some of them in Hollywood. It's like they're completely contradictory to the rest of the establishment, more or less, and they seem to make things work beneficial to them no matter what, and keep themselves out of the public spotlight enough in their own personal lives that they actually probably seem to have some private life, which I guess would be really important if you're a celebrity. My nephew works in film out of Vancouver. That's cool. Social media is the real culprit. After all we've seen, you can counter most of this crap as a parent. The social media you cannot counter. Well, no, but social media would be just be the platform predominantly. But I get what you're saying. Overboard. Overboard. I don't know. Is that a movie? Bird on a Wire. Oh shit. Okay, yeah. Sorry, passed the buck. Okay, was that Mel Gibson? Bird on a Wire. Yeah, yeah. I think you're right. Actually, yeah. Oh, you're probably right about that. So yeah, thanks for the correction on that one. Yeah. Oh, Overboard. Okay, yeah. Got it. Got it. That's why that when I heard that word, I was like, shit, that sounds a little familiar too. Thanks for the clarification. Pass the buck. If you read the article I sent you, the vanilla cherry flavored sugar coated pill, I debunked all these fear narratives with science filled people. Hey, actually, now that you mentioned that, Gato, I'm going to share that on my stream too. Let me go back here. Oh, shoot. That would be my reshares. I don't know how quickly. Well, no, I'll just go to your page. Because yeah, that was a great write up. So let me just check that out here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, I got to go back a little ways. Got to go back a little ways here. Wait now. Nope. Let me just check with Gato. Do you have a date? Hey, Gato, if you're still in the chat, what date was your article? I'll share it in the chat here. I'm going to keep looking there for it, but click on blog. It's faster. Blog. So let me check here real quick. Dang it. Dang it. Blog. How do I click on the blog? Chivalry's dead. No, that wasn't it. Just give me a sec here, folks. Shoot. Okay. Vlog or blog. Okay, let me go back. I'm just going to go back to your top of your channel here. Oh, maybe you're talking about go to your actual page. Do you mean your actual? Let me go back here. Let me check here. Click on blog. It's fat. Ah, there we go. Thanks, Gato. There we go. So Gato already posted in the chat. He's way quicker at that. Well, he knew obviously where to look. So yeah, check that out because I actually did start to read it. I think no, actually, I don't even know if I got completely through it here. But actually, yeah, Gato offers some great stuff. So check it out. Thanks, Gato. Appreciate that, man. Duke Nukem made me laugh. My boys played that, I think. Oh, Duke Nukem. I remember that. Thanks, Gato, for sharing that, by the way. Oh, let me mention a couple things here, folks. I'm really looking forward to this, to be honest with you, because I watched. Actually, I gotta double check here because I'm not even sure. Because I don't like to, especially people that I have respect for and appreciate them. I would never want to misgender, so I'll just use the name, right? L's place. But that's the thing. Then I go to follow through as he or she does. So I'll have to go double check in how L wants to be referred to. It probably, I would suspect, is she. I would suspect. Either way, I'm going to be having a conversation with L. L's place makes some great content. This is going to be happening on Sunday, June 23rd, next weekend, right? Yeah, that's next weekend. Yeah, next weekend, June 23rd at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be having a conversation. That's going to be, like I say, at 1 p.m. And actually, before that, Dominique Guay, I believe it's Guay, Guay, is a PPC candidate, I believe, that wants me to have an interview. That's going to be actually just before I go live with L on Sunday, the same day, between 11 and 1. I'm not sure how long that one's going to go. It might not go the full 2 hours. But like I say, so next Sunday, I'm going to be talking with Dominic Guay. That's a PPC member, or I believe PPC candidate. And then, of course, having this conversation. I'm really, really, though, I got to say, I'm really looking forward to having the conversation with L, because it's very important for us to point out that for someone, especially if you're a libertarian or anyone who cares about people's individual rights, freedoms, and liberties, who cares about how people want to identify and all that foolishness? Or even people, like I say, I'd rather even have a conversation with a leftist or a collectivist or a socialist or communist, and then I can show, because if you reach out across those divides to actively engage in conversation or dialogue, I think you'd probably get to the point where you realize that there's probably a whole lot of things that we share in common. There's some things we obviously don't, but it's finding those similarities and those commonalities that bring us together, that show some unity that's most important. And that, at the end of the day, is what I care about most, is reaching out across political, social, economic, or philosophical divides or chasms, and just figure out a way where we can come together and just respect each other for our own sovereignty and for what we bring to the table as far as conversation or dialogue, or as far as how we deem social economic flourishment should take place. Like I say, I don't pretend to know it all. I'm sure some of the people that I'm going to have a conversation, I'm sure L doesn't believe that he or she knows it all either, but at least they're going to bring something to the table that's going to bring discourse that shows that we're at least willing to engage in dialogue to discuss these important topics. And to me, at the end of the day, that's what matters most. That's how we lead by example. Whereas the people that are the authoritarian collectivists, You know, they don't want to have any engaging conversation or dialogue with people like myself or people like Al. They just want to circle around and show solidarity with people from their own background. They just want to function in an echo chamber. And these are people, like I say, are showing that they're unwilling to think outside the box, or or that box of allowable opinion, right? That's where we're showing that we are the truly, like, even these people, they say they're progressive. What, you're willing to be challenged as far as your political orthodoxy? Nothing progressive about that, right? Matter of fact, libertarian today, or people like Al may even identify as conservative. If that's the case, Al is even more progressive than the people that claim to be progressive, because Al is willing to engage in dialogue, conversation, debate with people that they don't just, he or she doesn't just agree with, but people that even has adversarial or conflicting messages or opinions than they do, or he or she does. So once again, this is once again where it's so important to show that we're the ones that are willing to lead by example. And that matters more, because people, all they have to do is listen to or see what we're engaging in, or the dialogue, or the people we're willing to associate and conversate with, and then they'll realize that, well, we have the credibility to back us up. Whereas the leftists, the authoritarian collectivists, what do they got to back themselves up? The fact that they sit around in echo chambers and repeat and regurgitate the same kind of talking points without having anyone actually challenge their dominant views. Yeah, that's not educating foreign people. Once again, that's indoctrination. That's being an ideologue. We're the ones that are showing that we're not ideologues, and we're willing to have our own preconceived notions or our premises challenged. That's what matters most, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I'll be really happy to have this conversation next weekend to learn how to. Teens are hard to get them to do anything. Hey, we've all been teens, all right, Stan. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying there. Oh, I like Kurt Russell because he supports gun rights. Oh yeah, for sure. I like anyone that supports people's ability to defend themselves. Right? Definitely, I agree there for sure. Funny game, yep. Green Cracker, White Widow through Crop King. Success with both strains. Canuck, Green Crack. That sounds wild. Sounds like a weed strain. Canuck, Green Cat, Crack, or White Widow. No doubt he probably is. I want my kid to learn how to make them, but teens are hard to get to do it. Hey, it's all about incentivizing them properly, right? I have a brand new floaty thing with my name on it and 10 lakes. Kurt was also the only pilot in the air to report the Phoenix Lights incident. Right on. Important things in the video games. Ken Duran. They should put all the important things in video games. Well, especially for the younger people. Actually, yeah, these video games can be helpful if they're made or set up in a manner that properly educates and informs people, or place people in a position where they're thinking critical about issues. That I would definitely agree with. Tim Bowen's article about Maxime. Actually, it was great. Actually, do I still have that up today? Tim Bowen's. I'm just going to go to my Facebook page real quick, because that was actually, I'm going to share that as well. I think it was pretty damn good, to be honest with you. And I like Tim Mullen. I really do. I like Tim a lot. I think he puts out some great information. Oh, wait a minute. That was probably on my Libertarian page. So let me go to that one instead. Yeah. I think it was a great one. That was the one at a post-millennial, I believe it was, right? Whoa, what's going on here? Okay. Just going to try to click on that real quick. My computer wasn't acting so darn slow. Tim Mullen. Yeah. I know. I'll find it. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment. Tim Mullen, Mark Friesen. Oh, by the way, I just mentioned too. Shared a post from Mark Friesen, PPC candidate from Saskatoon. I will be hosting a Facebook Live event every Wednesday where I discuss the PPC platform and take your questions. I look forward to you all joining me. So Mark Friesen, and his YouTube channel is actually under his name, Mark Friesen. Oh, actually, no, he's going to be doing Facebook Live. So check out Mark Friesen, PPC candidate. and go to his Facebook page, and he'll be doing Facebook Lives. So if you're someone that supports the PPC from Saskatoon or Saskatchewan, anywhere, you'll be able to listen to what Mark's got to say and engage in the chat. That reminds me, I'm scrolling through. I don't always drink water, dude. There, the old me, right? But when I do, I use paper like drink box water bottles, sort of things. You see that Trudeau liberal gaff? Holy, what a joke that was. Now, normally, I guess this would be about the time that'd be appropriate for me to share that video in here, but I don't want to have something mess up my stream or demonetize my stuff or anything. So, but yeah, I'm sure you've already seen the video, and if you have, you really should go check it out because that was hilarious. Now I totally forget what I was trying to look at. Damn it. Got to go back to my event. I get talking about too many things. Oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind. Hold on. It was Tim Moen. That's right. Tim Moen. I remembered Tim Moen. Let me find it, folks. Let me find it. I will find it. I do share a lot of stuff, though, so I do end up scrolling. Sometimes I look back on so much stuff that I've shared over the years, like, geez, my goodness. This one's Tim Moen, Plastic Man. Plastic Band, what nobody's talking about. I post a video on that one, too. Oh, and you guys see this thing? CSIS destroyed secret files on Pierre Trudeau. Stunning historians. Wow. Unbelievable. Oh, and that's another thing. Check out my video that I just uploaded. Mass immigration and the housing market. Breaking down the numbers. Wow, folks. Wow. You wait till you see the numbers. It's pretty. Oh, here we go. The tragedy of Mad Max. So I'm going to share this right here on the stream. Found it. And Post Millennial, that's another thing I'll mention. That Post Millennial, definitely check out not just the website, but be subscribed to the Post Millennial because they produce some amazing content and articles, like top-notch stuff here, folks, challenging the status quo in such a manner that actually I think they're head and shoulders above. So this is the article that we're referencing here. And like I say, Tim Moen, that's the thing with those of us that are libertarians in this country. And Tim even said he reached out to Maxime. I think Maxime should have taken a little bit more advantage of the fact that he had libertarians that were willing to reach out and engage with them, because libertarians are very wise and very much in the know and very active on social media. So, hey, if you're watching Maxime, this would be a really good time to stop playing like, I'm not even suggesting maybe if you're being egotistical, but hey, it's okay to reach out to Tim Moen and the Libertarian Party in this country, because you know damn well that a lot of people that support the Libertarian Party of Canada also support you as well. So it's really important that you show some unity and some solidarity with the libertarians in this country. Stop just fucking catering to conservatives, right? Come on. Don't play that game, Max. Because you know that the libertarians got a lot to bring to the table. Excuse me if I'm a little bit biased, right? But no, come on. Reach out to Tim. Have a conversation. Engage in some dialogue. Don't worry about that's the other thing too. I've found about Canadians, a lot of Canadians, anyways. I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of Canadians I've known over the course of my life scared that someone might be better than them. Even myself, like, sure, somebody might step up plate and do better than me, but you know, if they do, I won't have hate or resentment towards them. I'll be like, oh shit, they're doing something better than I do. I might want to adopt some of their practices that have made them superior to me in some way, but I don't want to hate them or bring them down. But I have found that Canadians, and that's that socialism that's very much underlying in the Canadian culture, is that anger, that resentment for anyone that's doing a little bit better than you. Don't get in, don't fall for that nonsense, right? Don't ever fall for that nonsense. If somebody's exceeding or doing something that's superior to you in any way, if they're doing it in a manner that's conducive with voluntary interactions, and they're not forcing or imposing their ideas on anyone, then learn from their example. Learn from their lead by example. Don't hate them. Don't be resentful. Don't loathe them because they might be superior to you in some way. Adopt some of their best practices that have put them in that position that have placed them to be superior to you, and that'll help you to be superior than you are today. That's just a little piece of advice, folks. Tragedy of Mad Max. Actually, I'll probably now that I think about it, I'm probably going to reach out, me and Tim. He's starting to do. I'll mention too. Tim Mullen's starting to do a podcast with a gentleman. It's like, geez, Tim, I wish you had told me you were looking to have a partner for podcast. Of course, at the time I had my son. We were doing our own podcast, Liberty Hunter podcast, which I was so thoroughly enjoying. It's too bad we're no longer doing them now. But I was like, damn, if someone was going to step up and do it, I was really like, damn, I wish I had known that Tim was going to do that, so I could have been parcel of that. But hey, maybe I'll figure out someone else that's going to be willing to engage with me on a weekly basis. I'll actually put that out in the chat. I am looking to someone that's going to be willing and dedicated to doing a podcast at least one time a week, just once a week, where we have these long form conversations, at least an hour, 2 hours. I mean, some of them could be 3. I mean, I can do that all by myself, right? But anyways, even with the engaging dialogue, these long-term podcasts are great for delving down deep into the kind of topics or subjects that we usually try to cover. So I am just going to put it out there. I am looking for someone, but once again, I want someone that's competent, has the ability to articulate their message without backing down, and is willing to commit, right? This is a commitment thing, because if you say you're going to do it, you got to be willing to show up every week, because I know I will. When I make a commitment, I stick to it. And I'm going to expect the person on the other side of that equation to do the same thing. So I don't even care if it takes me a month, 6 months, or a year to find that right person. I want someone that's willing to have this kind of interaction and engagement, because I think that it's important to bring that kind of stuff to the table as well. And as much as I'm going to continue doing my own regular videos, although I'm sure you've already realized too, is I'm doing them now every other day. And why that is because I'm back to doing my construction job. And it's really hard to put in a full week worth of work and to do all the research and investigating and everything that requires to not just upload the video. That's the thing you got to take into account. You got to render them. You got to edit it. You got to create your thumbnail. And I'm all about making sure I create decent thumbnails. It's a lot of work and effort that goes into even just producing one video. If you knew how much it took on average, like not live streams. Live streams is just hit the camera and you're done. But to upload a video and go through like reading news articles and articulating everything, like I say, a typical video, even though at the end of it, it's all final, after it's all said and done, it might only be a 10-minute video. Chances are it probably took me at least minimally 3, 4, 5 hours to get everything that I needed from the beginning to start of it to the time that it's uploaded on the video and everything's done. Usually that's how long it takes just for each video. So it's a lot of work and effort that goes in these things. So I hope people at least respect that I take the time. And that's the thing. I don't just go like spewing, right? I make sure I'm not misrepresenting anything. I make sure I place all the links to the articles. I'm usually trying to do the best thing so that it's a record of everything, not just what I've said, but any topic that I've covered. It's all on record. So you can just pull that back up in the future at some point in time. You just pull that back up and it'll be right there readily available. Not just my video, but all the articles and the information that was contained or pertinent to that video. It's all going to be in the description. So once again, I'm keeping a matter of record on file. And I've been doing so it's weird. I actually didn't realize I've been going this long, but it was 2013 when I started this YouTube channel. So it's been almost 6 years. And I've been doing this long before I even started my YouTube channel, because before I started my YouTube channel, I usually just watched other people's stuff or commented, liked, or posted stuff on my Facebook page. But I've been basically doing most of this stuff and talking about this stuff from like way back, probably at least 10, 12 years now. It's just only been one of the 5 or 6 years that I've taken it mainstream and on the YouTube platform. But like I say, I'm glad to see that by doing so, I've also sought out and have active engagement from a lot of fellow Canadians that care just as much as I do about what's happening to this country. And it gives me a sense of not just respect, but admiration for the Canadians that are willing to do so. Because it's very important to know that I'm not alone, right? It's like I would never want to look at it and think, geez, you mean there's only a couple people? No, there's lots of Canadians that care about this stuff too. And I see this just by the sheer fact that you're in the chat today. Sounds like a woman who needs a doctor. So Kat and Stan's having a conversation, I see. What's Faye Knox saying? Point fire. Brent Adelson, Sudbury and North Bay on the list of 11 to try the immigration flood. Yeah, I saw that. What are they thinking they're doing? I really don't know what they're thinking they're doing. That they're just going to bring immigrants to these remote regions to do what? Are you literally suggesting, and that's kind of what it sounds like to me, is they're suggesting that some of those old stock Canadians or those First Nation people in some of those communities, because I did notice on that list there was some First Nation communities or areas where there was a large substantial portion of the First Nation communities. Are you literally suggesting these people just can't do anything without immigrants telling them or helping them to do something? That sounds a pretty bad message to whether it's the First Nations people or Aboriginals in this country or even just the regular or old stock Canadians. Like, I guess y'all suck so bad you just need these new immigrants to come here and teach you how to do things. Oh, that's not a good way to incentivize the Canadian population to be more adoptive and open as far as that goes, like social or economically. That sounds more, like I say, top-down finger wagging of people that think that they know more than what you do. And I'm pretty sure the people in these communities know a whole lot more about their communities than someone in Ottawa or in some gated community somewhere that's some elitist public sector bureaucrat. Trudeau had a brain fart. Don't you have to have a brain to have a brain fart? I'm just kidding. Of course he has a brain, but one that doesn't work very well. What if, like, I just, matter of fact, actually, you know what? I won't, I'll just do it with just the audio alone because I thought that was just hilarious. So let me just do just the audio alone because that was hilarious. Trudeau, drink box. No, what was it called again? Bottled water. I think it was CTV. Yeah, it was CTV. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what it was. It was CTV. Oh my God, that was just too hilarious. I think it better still be up. Someone told me that they actually CTV deleted the part where he totally like went into gaff mode. Because tell you the truth, when I heard this, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to turn my mic on here. To both sides because I don't have the loud portion. I'm not on my speakers. I'm on my small. If I'm doing interviews, I don't need my big speakers to be able to hear the person on the other side. I just use the speaker on my monitor, but it's very, very quiet. But like, I actually thought when I seen this first upload, I thought someone did a trick. Someone did some video manipulation to make it sound like Trudeau being the complete idiot he is. But it's like, no, it's his real response. I couldn't believe. It's like, oh my God. This guy sucks so bad. I can't believe Canadians are willing to support this guy. But anyways, let me flip my switch here. I'm going to sound a little echoey while I'm doing this. Just one sec.
The time over the coming year to analyze based on science and data what is the right path forward on banning harmful single-use plastics. We know that there are perhaps unintended consequences.
I got to go a little further. Okay, just one sec.
Companies, the Coca-Cola bottling companies, the Unilevers, plastics are full life cycle.
And what do you and your family do to cut back on plastics?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of a plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of things. There's a number of choices we can make as consumers that will do better, and every consumer needs to look. We have recently.
Okay, I got to try it one more time.
Do to cut back on plastics.
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of a plastic. Away from plastic towards paper. Like drink box water bottles, sort of things. There's a number of choices.
Drink box water bottles, sort of things. It's just such a clear-cut example, and these people don't lead by example. Trudeau, and I mean, seeing all the friggin' links of people showing where he's just got a water bottle everywhere he goes, plastic water bottle. These people don't lead by example. Like I say, they're finger waggers. They want you to do the right thing. As far as they're concerned, nah, I'm not doing shit outside of my own comfort zone, right? So yeah, that's hilarious. I thought that to be just, well, not just hilarious, but such a blatant example of how hypocritical these people truly are. I mean, what more evidence do you need other than that, right? Verbal diarrhea. At Point Fire, I just clicked on the chat here, and Point Fire is like, damn, did you go to school in Scarborough? I went to a school in Scarborough. It's called Joseph Brant. It was grade 7 and 8. And I had a teacher. Yeah, it was history. He was a history teacher, I remember. His name was Helter Skelter. Well, no, maybe Helter was the, no, his last name was Skelter. Or Mr. Mr. Helter. Anyways, he was a German teacher, a history German teacher. And he would always use that terminology about having verbal diarrhea. I always found that quite funny, actually. That was quite the term to use. It's funny I see you putting that. That's why I asked. Are you from Scarborough? Do you know Mr. Yeah, was it Skelter or Helter? Mr. Helter? Mr. Skelter. Anyways, something along those lines. It's been a while since I've been in school. But I always found it funny we would use that. Yeah, verbal diarrhea or something. Trudeau is infected with. Oh, post. Yeah, there's my. Oh, what happened here? There we go. Okay. Population decline. I'll miss you then. Pass the buck. We'll just start plastic ban by cutting jihad credit cards. Brent, how's the Ring of Fire coming along up there? Any word? Not sure. Never heard anything about it. Ontario and Canada need the Ring of Fire to get on track. Hey, Gato, again, Cat in Canada. Mexico is too close to the liberal madness. I'm off to colonize Uranus. Good one, Gato. Colonize. I'd pack in my luggage. Right on. Uranus, that's hilarious. LGP should planet. WMV Imaging. Hello, all. I am wrong. I think the Queen sets the agenda for all PMs. What will Max do if he wins? Well, to be honest with you, WMV Imaging, Maxime himself, anyone in a democratic country can't do a whole lot, right? Because it's not dictatorial. It's all about entrenching a deep bureaucracy, and that's so entrenched today by people that are part of the ruling establishment that Max is not really going to have a whole lot other than having the bully pulpit and ability to tweak some of the policies, because that's the thing, as far as being part of the federal government, you can tweak some of the policies, right? There is some effects that he will have that can somewhat at least get people more adopted to think about things outside the particular political paradigm or that closed off box. But as a politician, Maxime, just like most politicians in Western democracies, there's not a whole lot you can do yourself, even under policy, to change or affect the culture. That's something that has to happen from each and every one of us. That's like I say, to change the culture happens at home. It happens on you and how you treat like your children, your parents, the people in your community, your neighbors, your coworkers, your employer, your employees. Create a healthy culture. Like I say, it all starts at home. It doesn't come down. It's never going to happen by top-down authoritarianism or by some central planners or politician, creating a freer society. No, that requires hard work and effort on all of our behalf. Maxime can't do that. None of these politicians can do that. That's why, like I say, that personal responsibility goes a long way. The onus is on us to lead by example, do the right thing, and create that kind of culture that we want to see and that we want to flourish. Don't rely on the politicians to do that, because if you're relying on politicians to do that, even the politicians that are heads and shoulders above the rest, and I'll admit Maxime Bernier is head and shoulder above the rest, except for people like, I'll say, Tim Moen. Tim Moen still, like, I just got to say, As far as where I come at from things, Tim Mullen still actually is even a little bit superior to Max as far as adhering to the proper fundamental aspects and principles of individual liberty. But Maxime at least has the chance, like I say, because he has the ability now to have that bully pulpit, and the media now has to cover him because he did come from an established or entrenched political party in this country. Like I say, the best thing you can do as being a part and parcel or a representative of the PPC is lead by example and use that bully platform to spread your message to the Canadian people and get more people accepting and adopting that kind of culture of respecting individual sovereignty and liberty. That's what we got to do. Checking that ballot box in October, I mean, sure, it might sound good, right, as a soundbite, but that's not truly going to affect or change the culture. And if you think that's the case, then after October, you're going to be greatly disappointed because Canada's probably still going to be a lot like it was prior to October once October comes to fruition, and whoever wins that political battle, that political race, implements whatever they're going to do subsequent to that. Like I say, that's not going to change the culture of the country. That's something, like I say, that's grassroots and ground up, and we all have to do that. Politicians have no capacity. Once again, personal responsibility, folks, goes a long way. N-word? Why you refuse to say N-word? What does that mean? Why would I use the N-word anyways? What does that mean? I don't even know what N-word you're talking about. There's quite a few words that start with N. Hello, all. Oh yeah, sorry. But thanks for the comment there, WMV Imaging. Embarrassing. It's embarrassing that our leader is mentally challenged and sexually questionable and possibly castrous. Pretty much. The fuck? He can barely speak. Right on, Rika. Faye Knox. And the worst thing is the boxes he is drinking from can't be completely recycled like a plastic water bottle. It's so true. I remember even, like I say, that Tim Mullen, that water bottle even pushed back. He said, he's like, actually, if you listen, like I say, listen to other people's perspective. To me, that's the most important thing you can do, because if you're only listening to one person's perspective or one side of the political perspective, then you're leaving so much of the equation that you're truly not thinking critically about these issues. Don't rely on these little sound bites. Like I say, challenge the predisposition or the stance that people take. Like I say, whether they come from the right, the left, or anywhere in between. Just challenge yourself, like I say, because that's what's going to help your brain think more critically about these issues. He was stoned. Look at his eyes. I know I had a lot of people say the same things. Like, look at Trudeau, man. Guy was ripped. Hey, maybe he was. I don't know. Could very well have been the case. Rocky Mountain Beaver. Right on, Rocky Mountain Beaver. How Canadian, eh? My area, Kootenays, BC, has been selected for the immigration pilot. No info provided on what they plan to do. Hey, well, Rocky Mountain Beaver, let us know how that works out, actually, because it's always nice to have someone on the ground to give real-world example or feedback to how these kind of programs are being implemented. So keep that in mind, Rocky Mountain Beaver, and let us know whether it's in a live stream or on a comment on a video that I might be dealing with that particular topic. Let us know how this is going to pan out in the future. This is so important to have people on the ground to give feedback and offer suggestions what they think is right, what's wrong, and maybe how they can change or affect some of these programs that's more conducive with actually respecting people's rights, freedoms, and liberty. Because, like I say, we don't know how these central planning models or initiatives are actually going to play out in the real world. Might be completely contradictory or counterintuitive to what they're suggesting and putting forth right now. So many low IQ people in this country. They can converse on this level. It's so true, Kat. So true. Saying when you stub your toe. Try saying that when you stub your Hey, talk about the toe. I did that actually the other day. I freaking hurt my toe. It's freaking sore. I know all about hurting the toe. I did that. The other word is too long. Scott. That's where the Scotch got it from. I love Canadians. I love Canadians. The N-word to us is numerous. Right on. Anyways, folks, I'm just checking the time here. 1:30. I started at 12. I mean, I'll probably maybe go for another half hour. Oh, I see my stepdad just responded to me on Facebook. Oh, and once again, I'll just point out another, just before I do tie this video up, like I say, I'll try to go a little longer if I see anyone new in the chat. Happy Father's Day once again to all the great fathers out there. And there are plenty out there that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. And I'm grateful for you for raising great sons and daughters that are going to challenge the status quo and help put us on this path that those of us that stand for and promote individual rights, freedom, and liberty. How we can make that flourish is by doing, like I say, leading by example, doing the right thing for our children and our whether they're sons or daughters, or our grandchildren, whether they're granddaughters or grandsons. And just like I say, give them the proper kind of mentality and psychology so that they're not placing themselves in these little boxes and perceiving everyone out there around them as being adversarial or someone that's just trying to impose their will. We got to get to a place, like I say, where we're respecting each other more. And then, like I say, there won't be any need to be clamoring for central planner or big government to arbitrate our social or economic interactions. We'll just figure out a way to do that for ourselves. No central planners needed. We'll just treat each other as adults, and then we won't have to require or rely or need some central planner to arbitrate our social economic decisions. We just have to respect each other, and we can do that. We don't need that. Why would we need someone else? We're adults. Like I say, now if there's children in the chat, which I haven't seen so far, that's a totally different scenario. But children aren't the ones that are paying attention to my kind of videos. It's adults. I mean, if we're all adults, then like I say, all we have to do is lead by example. That's the best thing we can do. Put our best foot forward, do the right thing. And I think at the end of the day, there's always going to be imperfections. There's always going to be areas in our culture where the people are trying to use the wrong kind of groupthink or collective mentality to impose their will on others. But as long as a healthy or substantial portion of the population are willing to forgo that kind of collectivism and still adhere to the fundamental aspects of individual rights, freedom, and liberty, then we will win at the end of the day. Because once again, the right ideas are what matters most. Because ideas are how we truly interact and engage with each other, right? When we're out there on the social economic realm, the reason why we can do that seamlessly for like basically almost every transaction or interaction we deal with each other is because we have this underlying fundamental reasoning that tells us that we have to respect each other for our sovereignty. As long as we keep that front and center and a healthy part of what it is to be a Western democracy that respects individual sovereignty, as long as we make that the premise and the most focal point of what it is to be a free or sovereign human being, we'll figure out all the other parts and the problems that we have to deal with. Like I say, and there's going to be problems, not just today, there's going to be problems that are going to come to fruition tomorrow, next month, next year. But as long as, like I say, as long as we stick to and adhere to respecting each other's sovereignty, we'll figure out a way to get through these problems or get over those hurdles. And we'll be better off on the other side of it. And then our kids and our grandkids will see, look, that's how it's done. Look how they led by example. Look at how these people, rather than going to war, right? That's the thing. Us Gen Xers, we're in that age range. Rather than showing like that using war or divisive rhetoric is a means to an end for the divide and conquer routine as far as gain power, if we lead by example, saying, no, we're not seeking power, we're just seeking respect and the respect of people's each other's individual sovereignty. As long as we lead by example, like I say, it will not just pay dividends for us, but it'll pay dividends for our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren. What better legacy can we leave than to lead by example and show with a real-world example that this is how you do it. This is how it's done. And hopefully, like I say, each generation will carry that forward. And there will be some point down in the future that it'll backtrack just like what's happening now. But then there'll be another generation of people that'll learn and adopt these fundamental principles because they're listening to what we said in the past and adopt them at that time in their future. That's how we carry this forward and bring humanity that much closer to respecting people's sovereignty and their individual rights and freedom, is keep going along with those incremental steps and fighting for every bit of ground that you've gained. Never letting the authoritarians or the collectivists push back and gain more ground or push us back into a corner where we got to take up ground or gain ground that we've already gained. No, stand your position. Stand firm where you are now so they never push you back behind that line, so you're always making progress. Like I say, we're the ones that are truly progressive, not the authoritarian collectivists. And I don't say progressive as far as that negative connotation that's used today. I'm talking about as far as progressive people so that we respect each other's sovereignty and their individuality. We're the ones that are truly leading by example, not the authoritarian collectivists. They're creating a scenario where you can just be part of their team. But once again, once you've even joined up or aligned with their team, you'll find out that you're all you are is just a representation of that team, of that collective, of that tribe. Nobody's going to respect you for you. They're only going to respect you because you're part of their team. And at the end of the day, you probably want your own sovereignty. You probably want people to respect you for your own individuality. I think most human beings feel that way right down at their core. And that's what it is for libertarians, is we can be part of a group, a collective, but at the end of the day at the end of the day, the most important thing that matters most is just respect each other's sovereignty. As long as we're going to stick to that as a general rule of thumb, we'll keep progressing. And I think the authoritarian collectivists will keep regressing and being placed further and further at some point in time out of sight and out of mind. And like I say, we will be the ones who will be taking center stage. Seems a little bit further off now because we're still stuck and mired in this divisive collective identity in this politics game. But like I say, just keep going forward, keep doing what we're doing, and you'll see we will win at the end of the day. And it's not a win as far as destroying your opponent. Matter of fact, your opponents will benefit by your win. That's the thing. These authoritarian collectivists, you actually will benefit if the people that promote individual sovereignty, individual rights, freedom, and liberty, if they win, then even the authoritarian collectivists as an individual themselves will benefit as a consequence of that. So it's not a zero-sum game even for our opponents, folks. I love Canadians. So all right, well, listen, everyone. I think, well, today being Father's Day, I think everyone's probably getting ready to enjoy the rest of their day. And I thank those of you who have shown up in the chat for showing up, and those who did donate in the super chat. I really appreciate you for doing that as well. And even the gentleman earlier on that was talking about the donating Bitcoin to me, I'm going to have to figure out a way to make sure that I got my wallet uploaded so that you can do that. Because I did, like I said, I did generate a wallet early on when Bitcoin came out, because I figured that's probably important because it's something that might matter in the future. So it is there and available. I'll figure that out. Hey, what's going on, Woodrat? Oh, actually, we already talked. Happy Father's Day. And thanks. Got to go spend time with. Yes, definitely do that. Matter of fact, I'll even say right now, that's why I'm going to tie this video up, because it's very important for each and every one of us to go out there and spend some time with our family. Even if it's not done in person, pick up the phone. Even if it's someone that maybe your kid, maybe your mom, maybe your dad. Well, today is Father's Day, maybe not so much your mom. But hey, even in that, like I say, if there's someone in your family that you've been postponing and trying to have that conversation, that hard dialogue, or engage in some way, try it out. Just try it. Put your best foot forward and see what they got to offer as a response. At least you can say at the end of the day that you tried. So yeah, today, maybe spend the rest of this day figuring a way to create a more healthier relationship with those in your family. And like I say, if you create a good environment in Canada, or respecting and having a good solid respect for people's family values, and bringing solidarity and unity with each other, and at the same time respecting each other's individuality, that's going to play huge dividends as far as creating a healthy society and culture in this country. So yeah, get out there, folks. Forget about watching me today. And I do appreciate those of you who did show up, but get out there and maybe spend some time and enjoy it with your friends and family, and especially those dads that are doing the right thing. Because today is that day that we really should be showing respect and admiration for the father figures who have tried to at least do the right thing their whole life. Might have made mistakes along the way, but are at least out there doing the right thing and raising, educating, informing, and enlightening their daughters or sons in a manner that's going to make them good, productive, not just productive citizens, but good, moral, and ethical citizens with good character and principles that'll carry forward, that will maintain this culture of the West that has actually brought us, like I say, out of the old days of authoritarianism, top-down authoritarianism as the only game in town, to actually the modern Western developed societies where we respect each other's sovereignty. Even though I see it's being greatly reduced at this particular point in time, we can push back against it. And because we have the right ideas, we can win at the end of the day. So thanks a lot, like I say, for everyone that showed up in the chat. I really appreciate everyone. Have yourself an excellent day. Have a great Father's Day, and like I say, show as much time and dignity and respect for those who are part of your family as you can, because we never know where we're going to be tomorrow or next month or next year. And you know, you never know how things might change, and you might regret not having that opportunity to reach out to those you love now, because you never know what might happen in the future. So we'll talk to you again, folks. Have a good day. Have a happy Father's Day. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.